Okay, we are live and we are recording. Yay! It's Elsie Mychols' Fabulous Playground. Angela, introduce yourself.
Angela, this Angie Seeable, Angie C over at Cheerleader of Life on Facebook. Angie C, Cheerleader of Life. Angie Seeable over on YouTube. Angela Estes.
Yes, and what was that?
Well, there was a guy down there, but now he's gone.
Uh-oh. Okay. No comment.
Yikes.
So,
Zoinks!
Zoinks! You're doing 99 videos in 99 days, and I think you're on, what, 91?
Yeah, 91 today.
Ooh,
91.
That's exciting. So, today, you know what we're talking about, right?
Right. You wanted to talk about nutrition and what you learned about nutrition this week.
Yeah,
What did you learn about nutrition this week, Elsie? Because I certainly didn't.
It's really exciting. I'm part of a community call that goes on during the week, and we were talking about food and balancing, food combining as well. Mm-hmm. And so what I learned is we do not mix cereal with milk. Did you know that? We should not mix cereal with milk.
Oh my God, I don't. But
no eggs.
Thinks I'm a freak. So why don't we? Why shouldn't we?
Oh, there's a whole book on it. A whole book on this. It's about enzymes and what our bodies can and cannot digest. Like they were talking about insects. They eat one meal. They catch whatever or drink whatever just all at once, and everything works out. Our animals, although in hard food, isn't that a mixture of stuff? I don't know. But anyway, so well, wet food is all protein, right? And then hard cat food is
well, see, yeah, it's still going to be a mix of whatever the company puts together. I mean, they can have anything from like cornmeal to actual meat to
interesting.
They actually have some appalling stuff in food.
It's so true, but they market it so well. Look at all the food groups in your cat food,
including ash, and sometimes what was it, antifreeze.
Oh, well, so. There was a lot of unique information brought up on this call. So carbs and proteins. If you're eating carbs, the pH in your mouth needs to be above 7 to properly digest those carbs. If you're eating meats, the pH in your mouth needs to be below 7.
No, wait a minute. Okay. So if you're eating carbs, it has to be above 7. And if you're eating meats, it has to be below?
Yep.
Now, so which is which? Is below acid and above is alkaline?
See, that's where I would say, get this amazing book. Because I could not, it was getting a little too technical for me. It's called Food Combining, and I'm going to put this in the replay. I'm going to put the information. This book was like written in the 50s, and the stars it gets are like all 5s. Like it's still amazing today. This guy was like right on it. He explains everything, and I just only touched the surface because since I'm not the expert, I knew I'm just gonna put the information out there, bring awareness, and then tell everybody, if you're interested in this, check out this book. And again, it'll be in the replay.
Well, I think you've sold one to me for a Christmas present. I know somebody who will want it.
Oh yeah. You can get it on Kindle. I got it on Kindle. It's only like $1 more if you get the physical. Right. So if you eat these carbs and proteins together, it creates a poison in your body from not completing digestion. So this is the funny thing. Yesterday, I'm like reading all this stuff, right? And I'm hungry now because I'm reading about food. And so I grabbed some mixed nuts and I was like, okay, so mixed nuts and cheese are in the same category. And so after I ate the nuts, I was like, cheese, that sounds so good. So I went and got a cheese stick. Just after I finished eating the cheese stick, it was saying to not combine those two. So I'm like, oh, man. When you're deep into this, like tomorrow, this will probably not even interest me like it does right now as I'm learning about it. But So what I did was, from reading further on, is if you mix raw vegetables, green, it's going to aid in the digestion. So I ran and got my power greens and just ate them raw. So that you're all good. And also don't forget to chew, because the pH from the saliva breaks it down. But check this out. Another saliva and pH kicks in at that point. It's crazy.
So a different pH kicks in right then, but it's one that we produce ourselves.
Yeah, whatever chemicals we're creating at that moment, that's going to react to. So you want to keep chewing so that process can take place.
Right.
This is what I learned this week. So, and it gets so crazy. Like, there's another book I was reading, The Gabriel Method. It's fascinating, and I want to do a whole other blab on that subject. It's just emotional, the emotions we carry. When we release the emotions, the weight falls off. It's really cool, but we'll get into that another time. But in that same book, he mentions with anything you eat, throw lettuce with it. You get a pizza, throw lettuce.
I know you get a benefit if you always do, huh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So otherwise, keep starches separate from proteins. Eat fats and proteins at separate meals. That doesn't sound fun, right? But yeah, if you do eat them at the same time, raw green vegetables. Now check this out. Melons should be eaten completely alone. They digest really quickly, but if you add a food to it, it will stay in your intestines. So you want to eat it as one meal.
Wait, it seems like an awful lot to keep track of. Is there an easy way to go about it? Let me guess. I go back to the book.
Go back to the book. That's right. Because like when you learn the whys and all that, like if this is interesting enough for anyone viewing, I highly recommend it. Because honestly, it's going to probably be a shocker in the beginning, and you're going to go, "There's no way. I'm not changing anything. This is too much work." But as far as I'm concerned, the more we are aware, the less doctors we're going to see. We're just going to find out what our balance is, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You can't. I have had time periods where I've thought, well, you could just go without doctors. You could just do it yourself if you could just get that in tune. And no, I know in that Jeffrey Allen course that I'm the workshop I'm doing right now, he stresses that too. That that you have to have the balance between the two. But you can certainly help it out and have fewer things that you're going to need a doctor about.
Yeah, I've got a doctor appointment coming up. I haven't seen one in a couple of years, but I just want to know, like, what are my deficiencies? Where's my starting point? And from there, I'm just like kind of starting over. So this stuff's really exciting to me. I hope it is for you, everyone.
Well, for me right now, I'm in this really interesting place because having had that surgery and having had the fibroid removed, right? It's like you figure that was actually building for decades. Now, it didn't affect me as much until the last, say, 5 years, right? But it affected my own perception of my weight, my own perception of how heavy I was. It actually did affect. It affected so much. But right now, I look at it; it's gone, and now it's like I'm a little kid again. My body actually feels that there's that much potential, and it's that exciting, and it's that And so for me. Right, for me, so it's a great time that's why I want to do the second 99, where I'm going to get to know my body better, and I want to be able to I want to be much more flexible, I want to be much more strong, but I want to do it from a position where I'm very much listening to what my body's telling me it wants, which is kind of the anti of that book, but at the same time, you need the knowledge from the book to know what to do for whatever you're, you know what I mean? They go hand in hand.
Right. Oh, you just add those greens.
Just add the lettuce.
That's all. See, that's my takeaway. Just add more greens. That's it. That's my biggest takeaway.
Now, so I can add what I thought. Well, when you said it was going to be nutrition, I thought, well, I don't really know anything about that, not much. But when I have that whole thing about cooking, right? That I didn't really ever learn how to cook. My mom basically just kind of dumped stuff in saucepans and heated it up, didn't even really add salt or anything, right? So I got to a place where I really wanted to learn that, and that's where I started getting Blue Apron and Plated and some of those and learning at home. But I also took a class at Silverado Cooking School up in Napa, right? And because I wanted to learn to use knives better, because I've already kind of chopped myself a few times. And one of the things I learned during, you would cook things and then you'd eat them afterwards. And so we'd be talking afterwards. And one of the things I learned that's just this little interesting tidbit. If you go to a fast food restaurant, what item can you buy that has the most salt? Which one has the highest salt?
French fries?
The milkshake.
Oh, get out.
And it's because they do so much to it. And I fully think probably it is our own government and the nutrition standards of what they have to do to preserve this and preserve that and blah, 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 blah. So that they have done so much of that they then add a huge amount of salt just so it has any flavor. Because they've killed the flavor with everything they've done.
In that process.
Right.
Wow.
So that's why processed stuff can be really bad for you.
Gosh, and I'm trying to think what I read something where, like, when someone goes into a fast food restaurant, the person at the what do you call it? Where you take money, cash register, they just welcome them and they don't say anything. I mean, maybe they say, "Did you want to try something?" But there's this moment where you wait for the person to go through this process of looking at the menu, and I guess everything's so visual. Do you know about that? Like, what goes on in our heads in that moment where there's silence?
Well, it's kind of funny. I can hear a plane at your place.
Hi.
And it could have been mine. It's just the wrong time of day. I'm usually later.
Right under, yeah.
But with me, I mean, I really haven't been to a fast food restaurant in quite a long time. Oh, actually, I did go to an In-N-Out for the first time recently. I still want to go back and have it animal style or whatever. But once upon a time, what would have gone through my head would have been a lot of paranoia. There would have been a lot of negative things. I'm taking too long. Somebody's going to get mad at me. They're going to yell at me. What do I want? What do I want? Yeah, about that.
Isn't that interesting? I had a friend that went through that. He was taking a long time, and there was like 2 cars back. Someone did a gun gesture at him. Ooh. I know. And it was just like, oh my God, that makes me so sad. And yeah, I don't know. I like that we cook at home. I don't want any of that.
I go through spurts where I do, and I'm really good about it. As a matter of fact, I figured out what I want to do next, because I'm getting a little less excited about the Blue Aprons and so forth. And it's like, I seem to always need a challenge. So now what I think I'm going to do is cook a bunch of foods that I've always heard about, but never, like my dad was always impressed with homemade baked beans. From the dry beans.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to do a bunch of things like that, maybe apple pie with the lattice, try to do and perfect.
Good for you. So do you have
a challenge? It's interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah. And like, I get bored really quick too. And I'm just like, okay, what's next? I don't know. But yeah. Do you have all the equipment like for your pies and stuff?
I think so for the most part. It might
that's like the fun part. Cool. Well, I just want to end that last topic with this last bit of no-nos, which I think all of us can benefit from. We want to avoid, according to this book, by the way, we want to avoid eating when tired, eating just before work, eating when cold or overheated. I never knew that. Eating when in any low emotional vibration, as these are considered eating beyond enzymic capacity. So if anyone wants to learn more about food combinations and how they affect our bodies, I will put the info for that book.
Do you realize what you just said, though? Think about that. One of them was you're not supposed to eat when you're in low
Emotional vibration. Well, that was my own word. Those were my own words.
Right. But if you think about it, so what were their words? Sad, depressed, something like that?
Sad.
But so think about all the people we've all known or been an emotional eater when you do eat when you're sad like that. And and then when you add the fact that it's going to be actually harder for you to digest it. So here you're probably eating stuff that you shouldn't be eating. You're eating more than you should have been eating because you're probably not eating at one of your regular scheduled meals. And you're eating because you're trying to cheer yourself up. And because you're doing it, you're also putting yourself in a lower capacity for even digesting it. Wow. That's a loser.
I've known some people that won't eat because they're sad, but I'm one of those that do eat when they're sad. Of course, I'm not in that anymore. I mean,
I'm a don't eat. I'm a don't eat when I'm sad.
Wow. Oh, you lucky person. So, and then that brings us to the next topic, which would be about Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And I know a lot of us cannot eat certain foods that come with that tradition. Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts on this? Because I know that emotions are attached with memories. Right?
I don't really have any foods. I don't really have anything on the can't eat. I do know I'm eating a ridiculous amount of mashed potatoes and gravy. Because that was always, as a matter of fact, I was a vegetarian for 20 years. And during the time I was a vegetarian, when I first decided it was okay and I could do that, I'd want to for a while, a friend was saying, you could still have Thanksgiving. You could still have these different things that I liked. And Thanksgiving was one of the ones, the mashed potatoes and gravy, that turkey gravy. That was one of the pet ones I thought I was going to keep, and I didn't end up keeping it the whole 20 years. But, yeah. Whole Foods has a very similar gravy to my dad's, so I find myself having that at lunch a lot. So yeah, maybe not a smart idea, but definitely a sort of emotional this time of year. Comfort.
Yeah. Right. The cauliflower is pretty good as a substitute for mashed potatoes. Not that you need it, but I'm just putting that out there. I have tried it, and it is really good. I've had the veggie turkey. You can get that anywhere, and it creates that emotional stimulation. Oh, good! It tastes like it. It smells like it. It feels like it. I don't know. And I don't know. I was thinking about it, and just like I'm sort of I'm a pescatarian. I think they call it. I eat fish, but I'm like, I kind of miss that tradition. Like, I want to introduce it to my kids. And why am I pushing it on them when I'm trying to get away from it? Isn't that funny? What is that?
Which tradition, though? The pescatarian or the...
No, the turkey, the actual tradition. And okay, we know where it came from, but I'm not actually completely schooled on it. I just know that in every picture coloring book, Charlie Brown, of course, that's a really great TV special because it's everything but turkey mashed potato. Remember, where's the pumpkin pie?
Pumpkin pie.
It was gumballs and toast.
Toast. Well, because they were little kids, they couldn't cook.
Well, it was Snoopy. Snoopy cooked.
Did he cook? Boy, it's been a long time since I've seen the Thanksgiving one.
And those kids were just not going for it. They're like, what is this? Where's the tradition? And that was just another seed planted. Oh, it has to be tradition.
I think, though, of all the holidays, isn't Thanksgiving the most that way? Kind of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it has no purpose other than tradition.
Gosh, and that is such a good point, because at Christmas, my mom would break out the goose. Nobody would touch that thing, but Mom got it every year, and I'm just like, everybody's like, oh, heck no. No.
She would cook a goose.
No, she'd just buy it already cooked. And then there's ham, and then there's turkey, and then there's salmon. I wanted salmon. So it's like it's more flexible at Christmas. You're absolutely right. And it's colorful, and Thanksgiving is this. But what is it really?
What do you mean, what is it really?
What is it really? It's people coming together. Right.
Right.
Really. And just...
That's one of those law of attraction things, though, that people coming together. I had a lot of years where I was kind of, I would have holidays where I would call them the, what is that Christmas special? The Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah.
I would have my crew of misfit toys, the people who didn't have families. Did you say something?
We're a couple of misfits. Yeah, sorry, I was just mouthing it.
Your mouth moved, there was no noise, and I thought, oh, you lost your sound. And so
you couldn't hear it in your head?
No. But yeah, so I would call it that, and we'd get together, and I can remember at least one of them just snoring and sleeping while we played some movie. Sad days.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Continue. Making a note.
But it's interesting because during those days, I was very much about, how come I don't get to go anywhere good for, Thanksgiving? And then I'd have these sad little parties. And, it's really a thing again where when you stop chasing something, law of attraction, right? When you become from that place where you already have it. I've had multiple invites this year. And I had an invite last year. So, hey.
Wow. And I think that's really beautiful. You're going to be around a lot of fun people. What a great time to play charades or whatever game we love playing. Mm-hmm.
What traditions what does your family have for, do you play some games?
That is our new tradition. After years and years and years of the same old Thanksgiving, my mom finally just said, we're playing charades. And it was the best time. I didn't care about anything else because basically we were slaving over cooking for 2 weeks, setting up the table. My mom was like, everything has to be perfect. And I was just working the whole time. I never got to sit. And when I did, it would be on the corner of the table next to my mom because she'd invite so many people. And as you and I have both lost our moms recently, so I've been given that freedom to make it whatever I want, which is probably why I'm bringing this all up. It's I don't think I'm alone in this, that what do we want our traditions to be? And
right.
Yeah, charades rock and good friends rock. That's like the main thing. And the food is just, the notes I was taking, by the way, was that one tradition I don't miss is when everybody eats too much and it gets quiet. And some people will go and watch a game. It just gets silent. And all that work you put into it is all for just like, wow, well, another year goes by.
Yeah. Now, wait a minute. Because you realize it's just like, remember when we talked before where somebody was going to help you and you were hoping that you didn't put them out, right? And so you were already putting that energy in there, right? You're bringing the energy to that silence.
Yeah.
So how can you look at that silence different where you feel differently, where it's a nice energy instead of a bad energy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just felt imprisoned because it was someone else's Thanksgiving. So you're right. I absolutely did. That was my experience. Nobody else was experiencing that depressed ABC, and I even felt it. But now my advice, of course, whenever we get into that emotion, the tradition emotion, we change it around. What is the new story? Make the old story a new story. Oh, now I remember. See, this is my new story. We're doing this right now. Everybody watching now or later, hello. I want you to take a sad story from your past that is of Thanksgiving or any other holiday and rewrite it and make it a good story and just create that story over and over and over until it becomes the new memory.
Think of it this way. Like I say, you can Google this. This is supposed to be true. Your memories, You're not remembering the actual event. You're remembering the last time you remembered it. So you can do it very slowly, a step at a time. And you can do it very intentionally. And I kind of have. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. everybody's just doing the best they can, and I love that. And you're absolutely right. I tell you, there's so many times I've caught myself totally remembering it inaccurately, where someone actually proved it was like completely opposite. I'm serious. I saw purple. No, it was orange. Whoa, like that off. So cool. So, you know, it's just like me to go back to something again. We have a few minutes left. Oh yeah, so continuing on this nutrition, what I've learned. You know, as we're just finding what works best for us. I remember I did the Atkins diet back in 2000. Hated it, made me sick to my stomach in every possible way. It just I didn't like how my body felt from it. But I know it worked for a lot of other people. I did a detox earlier this year. Have you ever
No, haven't. Yeah, no.
It was a lot of work for me, so I'm not sure I'd ever do it again. And but I do have to say I learned a lot from it. So I know a lot of people are like, why do you bother just doing that? You know, why do you only do it one time?
Only do it one time?
I did it once, and it didn't call me, but maybe it'll call me later, and I'll know how to tweak it or something. It was just a lot of work. But yeah, I learned a lot from it. And then I also discovered something called Ayurveda. Do you know what your dosha is?
I didn't even know how to pronounce Ayurveda. I've seen the word, and I don't know my dosha. So how do I find out my dosha?
You can find it online if you just look up Ayurveda Dosha Test or quiz. It comes up as quiz too. There's a massage lady. She's amazing. She's into holistic healing, and I went to her for a clearing. She's amazing, and she also does these doshas, and these can cost anywhere from $50 to $300. With the $300, you can get coached for like 6 sessions. It's really cool and really affordable, I think. And the benefits you get from following your dosha is increased energy, better sleep, enhanced digestion, improved immune system, manageable stress, greater mental clarity, weight loss. So if that calls anyone, that's just something to maybe look into, see if it works. I've done the quiz and I stopped. But that's where I just like, oh, cool. Okay. Moving on. So that's my share. That's what I learned this week. And I'm so happy to just bring that awareness to everyone. So, Angela. So
until next week?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna ask you. My computer's going really loud. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I was gonna ask you, was there a chemical imbalance you were
this morning?
Experiencing? Yeah, because it goes right along with this.
I'm gonna guess that all the mashed potatoes and gravy probably converted to sugars. And yeah, this morning I woke up. I woke up early. Couldn't stay asleep. Lots of energy, lots and lots of nervous energy. Despite that, it's kind of funny. One of the people who follows my videos said I just can't stay still enough for meditation. I still got a 30-minute meditation in, staying still. And then, worked out with weights, which works in perfectly because, I do want to start working out. I want to do those next 99. I'm got like 9 more to go on the current ones. But you need to kind of build up to these things. But so it was good to start working, that's like the first time since the surgery that I've really worked out. So, and then just each day, whatever calls. But yeah, today, because of the nervous energy, because of the mashed potatoes, and probably some other bad carbohydrate choices that were right on top of it. But see, I think that is the best way, or how I would like to live my life, is where I basically do whatever I want and eat whatever I want, but I make it be a few rules. One, I want it to be natural. I want it to be something that I could have maybe planted and grown or killed or whatever. If I could have done it, if I had that, not chemical, not processed, not fake, not, as much as possible. yes, okay, you're going to once in a while want, I don't know, Famous Amos cookies or something. You know what I mean? But just do it. Don't feel bad about it and move on.
Right. Right. It's the emotional. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I remember when I was married with my husband, we would both talk about how we would maybe eat a lot of junk food, maybe have pizza, whatever. And then my body would almost crave a salad. I could feel it craving green stuff. I want to get back to that place. I've had it to a certain extent. I know I can have it better. I want to be able to just go, you know, say, okay, well, how do I feel? Okay, I feel like this. and eat or exercise accordingly.
I love that. Yeah, and that's the intention. I love that. And I'm totally with you on that. I want to crave the salads. I want to crave those smoothies because I love just knowing, and I'm not trying to be all like, oh, Miss Nutrition. No, I just want that feeling of there's good stuff in me right now.
Right.
And it's doing stuff, and it's,
well, and it seems like, you know, if you're going to be more aware, if you're not going to be the ego and you're trying to crave, you know, being present, that is more aware living, eating, moving. You know, it just seems to go along with the whole idea.
I like that. Aware living. That's really cool. Thank you.
Conscious living.
Conscious living. Writing. Yeah, and I want to actually have a blab on emotions and food and that kind of thing. So, well, cool. This has been a great topic. Thanks so much.
Hey.
Had so much. We make, you know, what is it I said? We are the voices of voices, right? It's just circulating. So I'm really grateful. We have a platform to share our shares. So
yeah, we get to talk.
Yeah.
And
so I want to
keep information spinning.
Yeah, right?
Right.
It's inspired, aware, conscious, and grateful.
And anything but bored.
Oh gosh, right? So everybody's assignment this week is to find 5 things you're grateful for every day. Until next time, Auf Wiedersehen. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
I don't know how to leave.
Oh, yeah, we're still figuring that out. Okay, so I'm...
Oh, there